Okay, that should hopefully have worked. Where's my preview window? Yeah, it seems to have worked, right. Lancer RPG. I guess we're gonna just start with like a little lore dump, and then we'll do character creation, if that's fine with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, I'll start with like a truncated history of the faction that you're gonna start the game as a part of, the Union, and by extension like all of humanity. Then we'll talk about some like important like terms and the manufacturers of the mechs. Then we're gonna talk about where your characters are currently at, and yeah, then we can set up the compcon and do the character creation. That should be fine.
Can we get all of that in writing as well?
I can
Do you
give
have it like somewhere?
I can give you the TXT file that I've got.
Yeah, just afterwards, just so
Yeah.
for future reference.
Sure. All the year dates are like Union referencing, because in antiquity, humanity didn't fare so well, so everything before the establishment of the Union is kind of like a guess year-wise. So about 6,000 years before Union was established, humanity sent out about 10 massive generational ships, because the new Earth, now called Cradle, was screwed. About 5,000 years before Union, that was a certainty, and catastrophic ecological collapse ended all humanity. And then for about 5,000 years there was a dark age, with the population of Cradle falling from 15 billion to about less than 500,000 humans. And then 150 years before Union, the new nations discovered on Cradle something called Massive-A, a pre-fall vault full of humanity's old knowledge. And knowing humanity, this immediately led to about 100 years worth of war, as the extant powers raced to control the vaults. After these wars came to a conclusion, the first committee of Union, called First Com, established a union, put an end to these wars, and set about rebuilding humanity, which took about 2,000 years to get back to where we were before. They re-established long-range communications, made first contact with some of the survivors from the generational ships known as the Ionic people, and resettled the whole Cradle system. One of the most important rediscoveries was the Oracle Chorus installation under the Tias Borealis of Mars. I think that's a mountain range. And within, once the installation was reactivated, they found 5 voices. Advanced machine minds capable of predicting the future with near-perfect precision. Which is pretty nice. This led to the first expansion period, which lasted about another 1,000 years. Where humanity expanded back out into the stars, made contact with more of the generational ship's people, including the new federation later known as the Karakin Trade Baronies. And once again, knowing humanity, there was some diplomatic frictions with the Ionic people, and this started the first Distal War, which ended with the dissolution of the first committee and the establishment of the second committee, known as the SecCom. Because some people in the first committee launched Piston-1, a mass shotgun-style kinetic strike towards the ionic space, which is not good. Let's say it like that. It's not good. Basically shooting the ionic homeworld with basically the mass of a moon. Okay, and then... Right, this is a very important event during... in the year 2998, those machine mines I talked about, during one of the forecast iterations, they manifested an entity, Monist-1, also known as Ra. Which was the first, like, NHP. We're gonna talk about what NHPs are a little later. And before like anyone could get a real grasp at what happened there, this entity ascended, and with it disappeared the moon of Deimos, like one of the moons of Mars, completely from known space. With that was discovered the existence of a higher reality and the existence of a paracausal science. Like one of the main what am I call this? Main achievements of this science is the blink space travel. Basically instant teleportation by going through like a higher plane of existence. And the Omninet, which is basically the internet, but well, everywhere, all at once with no delay, which would be really nice. No sharks there.
Woo!
This, of course, led to like more colonization, the second expansion period, another 1,500-ish years. And during this expansion period, during the Hessinian crisis, the efficiency of hard suits and mechanized chassis, also known as mechs, is demonstrated. They're pretty late to the game here. They're fairly new. And this leads the establishment to the Union State Manufacturer, General Massive Systems, GMS. And it also begins the galaxy-wide production of mechanized chassis, which is nice. Also during this period, the location of Piston-1, you know that world-killing gun? Yeah, the location's lost. No one knows where it is or who has it. And the second committee was kind of tyrannical. There's a whole uprising thing going on. It's overthrown, and we're now in the age of the third committee, third com, which is the current age. 5,600 years after the establishment of Union. There's some of the bigger manufacturers start forming their own states, but they're still part of Union. The trade baronies are also now part of Union. There is another war with the Ionic people in the year 5000 Union. And during that war, for the first time, a blink gate is destroyed. And then we get to the current year, which is 5016. That's a very truncated history of humanity there.
Humanity sucks.
Yeah, humanity's not good.
I mean, yeah.
And to help you understand the motivations of the Union as a whole, here's some info for you. The Union is founded and motivated upon three great revelations. Some historians paint them as the three great traumas. first, the survivors of the old Earth had come to think that they were the first to walk under the sun. The vaults showed them otherwise. They were not the first, they were the last. The second drama was a reckoning, global war. The Little Wars, a bitter fight to control and consume the scraps of the long-dead past. And the third came once humanity recovered the means of long-range communication, and with them the voices of old humanity. Thousands of years, ancient and dead, carried on signals garbled by radiation, time and distance, crying out to their home for help. Lost souls that begged for aid, guidance and their loved ones. Millennia of messages recorded and playing on endless decaying loops for the survivors to hear. Thus arose the three utopian pillars, guiding principles, abandoned by the SecCom, now readopted. 1. All shall have their material needs fulfilled. 2. No walls shall stand between worlds. And 3. No human shall be held in bondage through force, labor, or debt. Still, human society exists on a spectrum of development. Although the peoples of the Galactic Core might hold these statements to be sacred, self-evident truths, the task of guaranteeing them to all is not yet a finished project. Most of the galaxy is far from all of it. And that's Union and its motivation, basically. Right, important info, let's talk about space travel. There's two forms of it, blink travel and regular. Blink travel is basically instant, you step through one gate, come out at another. Nice, that makes it part of the core worlds. Regular spaceflight, however, is relativistic. To cover great distances, you gotta go at a speed close to the speed of light. Also, the music stopped, so I gotta restart it. Didn't loop it.
Oopsie.
Let's put it on shuffle, it'll be fine, hopefully. Unless it plays something copyrighted, in which case I'll get eaten. And the problem with going close to the speed of light is the time difference. Let me give you an example. Let's say a third-born noble leaves to join a navy vessel. They might return home after a long and storied career to be greeted by their great-grand-nephew or niece. So it's not uncommon for, say, a Navy captain to have a real space service record of close to 300 years when they themselves are no older than 100. All that is to say, to leave a planet usually means to say goodbye forever. However, thanks to the Omninet, you can stay in contact at least. Because, thanks to paracausal science, that connection even functions normally in near light speed travel. Right, I mentioned NHPs, non-human persons, earlier. I don't quite get what they are myself yet either, but I can try my best to like wrap my mind around it. NHPs are like advanced machine minds, and they're available for civilian and military use. They are, however, higher space entities that have been shackled to like a human understanding of what a mind is, and then copied onto a machine mind. That is what an NHP is. They are a person, but they are the copy of a person, and that person is actually a being that we cannot understand.
So an eldritch horror in a computer.
Yes, they took Cthulhu and made it an AI.
Nice.
Funny.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yes. Well, and these cloned NHP units, they're contained within what's called a casket, a physical containment system to like hold their blink space minds. And you gonna physically deliver these blink space mines. You cannot like copy or clone. Like you can't. They are cloned, but you cannot like transmit them over the OmniNet because they would just disappear into the blink space.
Mm.
The interesting thing, however, is even if these NHPs are cloned, they do inevitably develop their own like personalities and quirks, and they prefer to be called by like whatever name or they have chosen or have been assigned. There is, however, a small problem. These shackles that keep those minds like in a way that we humans can understand them do decay over time, and with sudden traumatic systemic invasion or impact, they can also start a process called cascading, where the mind like thinks itself out of these shackles and starts ascending again. So to keep that in check, you gotta like factory reset these persons like every like couple of years, 10, 15, with combat NHPs much sooner.
So turning it off and on again.
Yes.
Literally.
The problem is that some people see that as killing that person and creating a new one. So there's a bit of a dilemma there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That old chestnut, huh?
Yep. Right, let's talk about money next. The Central Worlds and Union itself is a post-capital and post-scarcity society, but Union recognizes that not all its client states have become a post-capital society. So there is a universal currency, it's called mana. We don't really have to deal with it. If there is ever like a need in a role-playing situation for like one of your pilots to pay someone, you can assume that your pilot has like some funds available to them. When you level up, you do gain a license level, which you can assume to be an abstraction of obtaining money, material, and connections to get access to one of those licenses from the Big Four manufacturers.
And get a new mech.
Yes. Well, first, you gotta put at least 2 license levels into the same license to be able to get the frame. On the first level, you just get like a system and a weapon, or 2 systems, or a hacking program, or something like that.
You get the
base equipment for the
sample
frame
platter
first.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get the sample platter.
Right. Important thing, the 4 Big Four manufacturers. There's the Union State manufacturer, GMS, General Massive Systems, replaceable, like, frames and weapons that everyone has access to, basically. Well, not everyone. Everyone who's a trained Lancer. That's basically the starting gear. Right, let's start with IPS North Star. It's one of the manufacturers, merger of 2 civilian interstellar freight and transportation companies, Interplanetary Shipping and Northstar, hence IPSN. They're one of the first corporal states. They have a virtual monopoly over all interplanetary and interstellar shipping. They have versatile, durable modular mechs with a priority on weapon and engineering systems. They usually have a fairly tough chassis for close combat, melee combat situations, boarding actions, breaching ships, that kind of thing. They're sturdy, deal good damage, take good damage, basically. Then we've got Smith Shimano Corpo. Corpro, actually. Not Corpo, but they are a Corpo. Founded by Cartwright Smith and Shimano Hideyoshi. They emphasize private stellar and interstellar travel. They're like founded on like the wealth of their founders. They're kind of the, that's unkind, but they're kind of the Apple of mech manufacturers. They favor agile, adaptable like mechs, and they're not super resilient, but they're interesting. They have a sleek profiles. They have high mobility, and they're highly accurate.
The Lamborghini of the mech world, I guess.
Yes, they're the rogue to IPSN North Star fighter, basically. I mean, they also have like tanks and stuff, but they do it in like an interesting way. Then we have Harrison Armory. They were previously a manufacturer of just ordnance and weapons and armaments, and eventually didn't want to rely on like their competitors' frames for like the mounting points for their equipment. Yeah, all these three I've mentioned so far, they're all corporal states, so yeah, they're not good, but you know, what do you do? What can you do? Well, Harrison Army like specializes in like frontline frames. They are they're kind of like, they have got like imperial aims. They have like sturdy, like really sturdy frames. They have some of the like the best guns. That's kind of their thing. Yeah. And then we have Horus. They're weird. They're really weird. They're like
I like them.
they're in a gray legal state between like a harmless Omninet commune, an open source fabrication collective, black market printers, like a deeper, more esoteric collective. And the weird thing is about Horus, it's got like ubiquitous coverage. Wherever there's the Omninet, there's Horus. And no one really knows who's behind Horus. Like, some say it's the dream of an unshackled NHP or a hacker collective, or terrorists even, or like a corporate state's R&D department. No one really knows. Some even think it might be the real space projection of like an alien entity, like a blink space entity. And there's like no rhyme or reason on who gets the licenses even. But there is one thing about these licenses. They usually don't get transferred until the corporeal death of their previous holder. So they're very limited. So if you're seeking out Horus, you're seeking out technological edge that like no other organization can provide. However, to seek out Horus is to wrap yourself in mysteries with no end and dangers beyond your deepest fears. That's the tagline. Well, that's all the lore dump. We can now talk about what your characters are gonna do, or where they're currently at, so to speak. Well, you're fresh graduates from Lancer Academy, and you've joined the Union Navy. That doesn't mean you have to play as youngsters. Most people who go to Lancer Academy are like second or third born nobles who will not inherit a title, and thus then transfer to like governments. However, outstanding individuals who perform extraordinary feats are also admitted and allowed to become Lancers. So you can be from any background, basically. And you don't have to be from the same class or same school at the academy even, but you are from the same year of graduates. And you've all gone through similar harsh training, regardless of where you came from. There are two things I want you to think about when making your character. What event led you to be at the academy? And what circumstance during your years at the academy led to getting your call sign? Because call signs are usually like assigned. Well, if you do something weird, someone might give you a weird call sign. For example, they can be something simple like Doza or Crash, or like allusions to like Cradle's history or mythology, or like persons like Saladin or like Pendragon. They can be anything you want, really, but it is how you will be referred to during like the combat part of the game.
What was the first thing we should think about?
What event led you to be at the academy? You could be just... That's usually when you pick a background, there's gotta be a reason why you're there if you're a spacer. Maybe you fought off like a pirate raid in just like a loading mech or something. Something like that. You did something cool, someone saw it, you're at the academy, you get to be a lancer. Or you're a noble and you get to be at the academy and you get to be a lancer. Even though usually
Mama paid your
nobles...
tuition.
Yes, even though normally the nobles just go into governance instead. Right, now for the current situation. You're currently aboard the UNSCV Rio Grande, in orbit around Cressidium, a planet that was settled by Union's anthro-chauvinistic Second Committee just before it was overthrown by the Coalition. That would eventually become the current-day Third Committee. Many SecCom bureaucrats and military commanders fled their homeworlds looking for a safe haven to ride out the storm, and information on Cressidium's location and colonization were purged from the archives before they fled, of course. And that is why Cressidium doesn't have an Omninet infrastructure to prevent detection in the aftermath of the revolution. Recently, however, a faction on Cressidium has made recontact with Union, and that's why you're there. Another reason why you're there is that thanks to a generous sponsorship by GMS, you all have obtained a mech frame in a new and optimized spider pattern, otherwise identical to the Everest, Sagarmatha, and Chomolungma frames. They didn't make you sign anything, so you're free to swap out the frames whenever you get access to like more licenses. But that's a bit weird. Usually when you get something for free, they make you sign for it. Now, the reason you're there, you, the rookies, and another squad of lancers, the Vets, are aboard the carrier vessel to act as personal bodyguards for Union Ambassador Nilan Banerjee, who is engaging in delicate negotiations between the planet's two major nations, the Leandric States Alliance and the Western Sovereignty, who are currently engaged in something of a Cold War. After the LSA recently established recontact with Union and expressed an interest in joining. It's like 8 months into this assignment, you've been down to the planet twice already, and it's the eve of the 3rd Diplomatic Summit, being held in the metropolitan LSA port city of North Elysia. Most of the Vets, the ambassador, and the captain of the Rio Grande, Bridget Ferris, already went down to the planet, and you're set to relieve the Vets on guard duty in about 3 days, and that's where we'll pick up on session 1. Just in the ship, chilling in the lounge. Right, speaking of picking things up, I think we can set up CompCon. The character building and tracking, like, app program thing. There's a link for it. It's probably a good idea to, like, make an account. You just need an email. Right, did you install any of the content packs, or do we need to go over that? We probably need
I installed whatever the Legionnaire pack was.
I installed everything you sent, I think.
I don't know that I installed everything.
Right. In the mech page channel, in the pinned messages, there's the Legionnaire one.
Oh, and the zip file, okay.
And the zip file. I had to explain
Definitely.
to Tonbury how to open a zip file. But in
I was
that
about to
zip
say,
file...
I definitely didn't do that.
In that
There's 8 packs in total, right?
Let me double check.
Yeah, because 7
With
in
with
the...
Legionnaire.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. count 8.
Oh, come on,
Yep.
baby.
Yeah, the rest are NPCs for me. You don't get those.
Yeah, because I have 8 packs installed.
Yep, that's the ones. You just go to Content Manager, install
Yep.
content, drop the files in,
Did that.
Okay, let me do that.
and that will give you access to all the things.
Stuff even.
Yes.
Can you install multiple of them at the same time?
Yes, I think so.
That I don't know. I just dropped them in one at a
Just
time.
lets me to one.
Import content px. There we go.
Just let me know when you've done that.
Can the stream also see ComCon?
I could set that up real quick. Just drop that here. Will that capture? Is a good question. Yes, yes, it will.
Well, I'm done.
So,
I've also got everything installed.
Okay.
Or
Right. Another question is, should we look at like what licenses you want to go aim for to begin with, or do we just jump right in? There's like two approaches to doing this, really.
I mean, I don't.
You know what? Let's just make a character. I'm sure it'll be fine. Create new pilot in the pilot roster. Give it a name.
I think the name can be changed
Yes.
later on.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I don't know if you can modify your personal name, but the mechs and everything I think are fine. Hang on, let me check. And let me see, pilot roster, can I modify the names? Clone, generate, step block, export.
If you go this button, nope, that's not it.
Because I haven't found a button that lets you change name and whatnot yet.
Dossier, there's no button. I mean, we can always like make the character again and then fix it that way. Pilot options. Nope, that's not it. Pilot sheet layout option. No, that's not it either. Yes, you can rename them. And the call
Oh,
sign.
you found it?
Then I don't need to put much thought into the name.
Yes. Yes, you can just
The
rename them.
priority, I see.
Okay. Just random name. Random like call sign. And then background, there's like a little like world symbol next to it. Select the predefined one. And then you've got a couple of options. You can pick any one of them except for the ones near the bottom where it says like Legionnaire. Like Mil-Spec Pilot, Legionnaire, none of the Legionnaire ones.
okay.
I got the
So I
Legionnaire.
can't be a babysitter.
You cannot be a babysitter.
Aww.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna stop me doing dumb shit now?
We're not gonna be dealing with Legion space. I just got the Legion book to help me with like running NHPs. Gonna select background.
I have selected a background.
Alright.
Nice.
Yeah, with it too.
Presume Tombury has picked one already.
Oh, I've got an entire character built up, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've been ready for quite
And
some time. Brother.
the background is really only used like in narrative play when you're not in a mech. When you're like
Okay.
doing something and like, say you're like a spec ops background and you're trying to like kill a guy quietly, you can say, yeah, I have this background, and you get like an accuracy die or something. Makes it easier. Right, if everyone has made their choice, we can click continue in the bottom right and get to the pilot skill triggers. Well, at level 0, you can pick 4 different ones, and in pilot play, when you do something, you can use these to, you know, roll them. Usual DC is 10, unless it's something that's more difficult or more risky. Then the DC might be higher. I'm just gonna pick 4 random ones. These are like, yeah, basically your D&D skills. And each time you level up, you can pick like another one or make one better than you already have, up to +6. That's the maximum you can get in the skill. Which usually means you succeed. But not always. There is an option to like make a custom skill, but if you can think of one, sure. If you absolutely want to, I don't know how useful it will be.
I've got 4. Not sure how suitable, but sure.
I have 4 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can click continue. And then the pilot talents. This is what affects your mech. You get to pick the first rank of 3 of these. Any 3. And each time you level up, you can increase one by 1 or get a new one to rank 1. Just good luck. Pick some that you think might work well together. Like things like House Guard might be good for like a melee one. Black Thumb if you want to like have more things like with the pilot outside the mech rather than inside the mech. There is an overwhelming amount of options here, I know, but if you realize you don't like some of this stuff, you can every time like you level up, you can completely like respec.
There is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is a lot.
It is a
yes.
list.
God.
Me and Val have gone through countless iterations of combinations, and we still could not figure out one
Usually
that
you can get the
wants.
gist of what the like talent the 3 ranks of the talent do by reading the first one. That usually gives you a good idea what it is, if it's a melee one or if it's a hacking one or if it's like drone controller or whatever.
Best way I can figure out how to explain the mechs is there's, I think, 5 varieties. You've got melee brawlers, ranged brawlers, controllers, defenders, and I hesitate to term the words wizards or range tech.
I mean, I guess.
There's those that excel at being up in the brawl. There are those who excel at letting other people do that. There's some that excel at getting brawled upon. There's some that excel at hacking with all their nonsense. And there's some that are good at just making the enemy have a really bad day.
I've picked 3. We're gonna see how this is gonna turn out.
Fun.
It's a big list. You
It is a
can
big
definitely
list.
take your time.
Yeah. This will require some reading.
Yep.
Oh yeah, from this one you can pick the Legionnaire talents.
I'm just gonna ignore them because there's already enough.
Are there any talents off limits, or
Nope, they're all
is
available.
anything in this list good? Okay. Good.
Anything's available.
Do we like wanna, I don't know, have a balanced team or just be 4 wizards?
I mean,
Just
there's
pick what sounds
all of
cool to
us.
you. I think it'll work. And if it doesn't work
Okay.
after the first mission, you can like reconfigure and figure out what you want to do.
There's 4 of us, and every mech path has really good strengths and some obvious weaknesses.
If it doesn't work, we can just make new crackers.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, what's a good example of a good strength but a strong weakness that immediately comes to mind?
I mean, you can easily make a missile boat, but
Oh, absolutely.
you'll have trouble when
Monarch is a
something gets
fantastic-
close to you, obviously.
Yeah. The Monarch and the Viceroy are fantastic missile boats of just funny. But there's the real haha funny, which is basically everything in the Horus line, because they all do some funky shit.
Yeah,
They
just
do-
weird.
They do some weird fun stuff.
Yeah. They are all absolutely batshit insane at what they do.
Some of the SSC mechs are also kind of weird, like the liquid metal one.
Oh, the White Witch? Is that the White Witch or the Black Witch? I think that's the White Witch, isn't it?
Yes, I think.
Which one's the Black Witch? The Black Witch is... No, the Black Witch is the magnetic one. The White Witch is the... what's the word? Ferrofluid one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the funny one. It just gets... The more you brawl it, the worse it gets. So, advice of life, do not brawl the White Witch. You will make your day hard.
I
You
mean,
will also make it hard, which is
I
funny.
mean, you don't have to worry about the White Witch. I have to worry about the White Witch.
I mean, there is
True.
that.
You have
I mean,
to worry
what
about
if we
the
have to
Ronin.
fight a White Witch?
No,
We
you-
don't know.
You
We
absolutely
don't know what we fight.
These
I
mechs
pray
are
we don't have to
mechs.
fight a White Witch.
I get my own set.
You've got your own... So, oh, okay, interesting.
I love the starting sentence of this talent. Explosive and warfare go together like alcohol and bad decisions.
Yep.
Yep.
I love Evolutionist. It is the big funny. What else is
I
funny is
might have picked it.
there's a straight up mech that's just called World Killer, which is basically I light the world on fire and myself, and you're all caught in it.
I think that one might have some heat issues at some point.
I mean, yeah, it's also resistant to heat. No, it's resistant to burn. It can't be lit on fire. And it burns. It burns real good. Then there's the funny little goblin. You just straight up glue yourself to someone else. Because why not?
Just let me know when you've picked 3.
I've picked 3.
I
I
picked as
picked-
well.
I have picked 3. We'll
Okay.
see how it goes.
And then we can hit continue. Right, mech skills. Well, they tell you what they do. They give you more HP or repair capacity. If you get 2 ranks in it, you get the second benefit too. If you're unsure what to take, mech HP is always a decent idea. Heat capacity is also quite good. If you want to go into hacking, systems is a good choice too. Evasion and speed, well, that depends on what mech you're going for. If you pick an especially slow one, that might be a worthwhile investment. Otherwise, maybe not.
I mean,
Do we
you
get
could
more
use it
skill
to-
points and level up?
Yes. Yes, you do. 1. Each time you level up.
I've chosen.
Chosen.
Alright. And register new pilot. And you click your pilot. And scroll down a little, and then you get to pick your pilot gear.
Yes.
You can click pilot armor, and you take your choice of armor, whatever sounds good to you, really. I'm just gonna go
More
with-
choices.
I'll just go with an assault carapace heart suit. There we go. That's a thing. I don't know how often these will come up. The pilot gear, I'm not sure. I guess if your mech gets obliterated, otherwise probably not. Unless you unless you picked Black Thumb, in which case you will be outside the mech, and this will come up.
I mean, it might come into effect during narrative. I don't know. I have no idea how this game plays.
There is
one
no
button.
combat unless the like skill rolls like blow something up or take someone out in narrative play.
Mhm.
And you're only wearing your like armor when you're going through a war zone, so on mission basically. Because no one like wears armor unless they have to.
I've that shit heavy.
And
That's
uncomfortable.
Yeah. That falls into the category of heavy.
Indeed. Speaking of heavy, there's also pilot weapons. You get 2 of these. The archaic ones are questionable uses. The A/C ones are like melee weapons, and then the signature weapons are ranged weapons, which you can pick the type of damage type of. Usually, firing a weapon as a pilot takes your whole action, unless you're using a light weapon, in which case it will take a quick action instead. And then we've also got like 3 items of pilot gear below, which is like half combat items, half like roleplay items. In there is some Legionnaire items which you can ignore because those are for like NHP player characters, which we're not doing currently, which we might do in the future. But currently you can ignore those. They should be at the bottom.
Oh, funny.
I'll just take corrective to pick someone up with that down. Take the camo cloak, why not? That sounds cool. And sure, a self suit.
Yes. The butt plug.
So much in there.
Yeah.
A good many of them are just roleplay items, though. Like the camel cloth is not really gonna do anything during like combat.
Also, there's just a sleeping bag in there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Gotta have your nap bag, otherwise you're gonna have a real rough night.
Just basically pick what would be most important to your character. If they're a drug fiend, they might take stims. Well, let me know when you've made your choices.
Um,
I'm done.
Think so?
One more.
Yep.
Can we like share this? I think we can share these characters with you, can't we?
There is a button down there, the 3 dots in the parentheses. You can share pilot data, and then you can make a share code. And I think I can add that to my list of pilots. I don't know if that will update automatically though, if you change
Right.
anything on the sheets.
Gonna find out.
Nope.
I've
Have
picked
a
my
code.
I've picked my stuff.
Okay, a code. Hang on, I need to add this code real quick. How do I do that? Let's find out. Import pilot.
And once you've added it, tell me, then I'm gonna change something.
Import pilot code, search. Remote resource? What does that mean? Hang on.
So you can sync updates with it, but I'm not sure if it's automatic or do you need to press something.
I think if I import it as a remote resource, it will update automatically. Yeah,
Sounds like it.
because I've got the option to import it as a copy and as a remote resource. Okay, I've done it as a placeholder, well, as a remote resource. Right, if we've all got our pilot gear, we can look at the bonds tab and ignore it for now because that becomes active at level 1.
Great. Love ignoring stuff.
Yep. Your tactical profile is just an overview of your your mech skills and stuff, and then we go to the mech hanger. We'll add a new mech, and here's a choice between 3 frames. Everest the all-rounder, Shumalungma is the controller support one, yep, and the tanky one, the Sagamatha. They're all named after mountains.
Which one is good for I'm going in as melee?
The Everests, definitely.
And I'm taking that one.
I feel like I know where she's going with this.
The main good thing about all the GMS frames is that they're really easy to repair. I should probably go over how repairing works.
These random names are really good.
Oh yes, I love the first one already. I'm taking the first name it randomized.
Good.
It's an amazing name.
Oh God, yeah, okay. I'm. Ooh.
Okay, yeah, let's repair. You've got a repair capacity that is over a whole mission. A mission is usually structured like you've got a narrative bit at the start, combat, narrative, combat, and then optionally more narrative, more combat until 3 or 4 combats are done. That's usually when one mission ends and you get a level up at the end. Between each combat, you're guaranteed a repair where you can spend repair capacity to go back to full health for 1 repair and restore a structure for 2 repairs. But in the GMS mechs, you only need 1 repair for 1 structure. So they're very easy to repair. I'm gonna just pick an Everest, randomize it. Last Train Home, that's a cool name.
Their parts are everywhere.
Yes, they're universally compatible. Right, let's click that mech that you just made. And then you scroll down and you see you've got some weapon mounts. If you hover over where it says main mount or flex mount or heavy mount, it'll tell you what goes on those mounts. If you've got a flex mount, for example, you can put 1 main weapon on it or 2 auxiliary weapons. The thing with the 2 auxiliary weapons is, if you're firing that mount, you fire both of those weapons. So while the auxiliary weapons seem rather weak, you'll usually fire a lot of them at once. So it'll open a list with weapons if you click the empty spots. Good luck, pick some weapons.
Hopefully, the starter ones, at least the Everest, is easy. It starts with a main, it starts with a flex, it starts with a heavy. Main can have 1 basic or 1 little weapon. Flex mount can have a basic or 2 little weapons, and the heavy can have a big boy, or you can use the heavy mount plus another mount to use the really, really big boys.
Yeah, the super heavies need 2 mounts.
But by golly, they do damage, but you can only fire them using a full action, not a quick action. So you get 1 shot.
Yes.
But by golly, if it works, it'll do something.
What's the threat on the gun on the weapons?
That is the
range?
melee range. Yeah.
Yeah.
The melee range and your threat range of Overwatch. So if someone leaves that range,
you get an
can
attack
hit
of
them
opportunity
with a standard weapon. Yeah.
That's threat is around you. 1 is 1 square around you.
Okay.
But you can't Overwatch with a super heavy, I believe.
That's correct.
What's a super heavy?
If you've got a heavy, there is a super heavy melee weapon. So if you click the heavy mount weapon, The Tempest
Yeah.
Charged Blade is a super heavy melee weapon.
Where is... Oh, over there. Okay, yeah, I see where it says that now.
But if you equip that, you also lock out one of your other 2 mounts if you've gone with the Everest. Is that the only super heavy you've got access to at the start? I'm pretty
It's the
sure
Cyclone
it
as well.
is.
The Cyclone is, but it's the
Oh, yeah.
the Hurricane.
Oh yeah, and the Cyclone Pulse Rifle as well, that's also super heavy.
Oh yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Cyclone, Hurricane, and Tempest. Interesting. All Storm named weapons are heavies. Yeah.
So let's pick this.
Well, I suppose at some point you got to teach them all of the tags as well. That's gonna be fun.
What's the difference between kinetic and energy damage?
It's just a damage type, like explosive is also a
Okay.
damage type. Some things are better against armor, some things are like some things have like more resistance against certain damage types.
It's basically the elements.
Yes, basically. Just gonna slap a howitzer on there. Sure, that'll be fun.
Good old howitzer. Sometimes you just gotta make something disappear.
And an assault rifle, sure, why not, that's fine. But once you've got your weapon selected, there's also the systems. To start, you've got limited access to a few systems. You've got like, depending on your stat choices, like 6 or 7 points. Each system has a different like system point cost. If you're in doubt or have got points left over, custom paint job or personalizations are usually a good choice.
They're effectively perks.
Yeah, they're effectively perks, just to like customize your mech a little further. If you've got very few weapons, armament redundancy is a good choice, otherwise you'll be very sad if your super heavy weapon gets blown off and you've got nothing else left. Other than that, well, it's like smoke grenades or like a frag grenade that you can throw, or you can deploy some cover. If you're doing a control of the turret drones, might be a good idea. Well, those are fun. Spit out some other targets for them to hit. Oh yeah, if you're playing like a tank, the Type 3 projected shield is also quite nice.
Accuracy and difficulty will also be explained later.
Oh yeah, I probably should have done that, right?
I mean, you can do it after they've got everything set up.
Sure. I've equipped 2 NHPs on my example mech. That's surely a good idea. Nothing will go wrong.
I have chosen things.
Okay, good.
I'm not sure if those were good choices.
Well, we'll figure it out together, I guess. Okay, I guess I can quickly explain accuracy and difficulty. As you, saw, some things give you accuracy, maybe some things give you difficulty. That just means you add a d6 or subtract a d6, and they, cancel each other out 1 to 1. No matter how many, accuracy or difficulties you roll, you always just pick the highest number from the accuracy or difficulty die. So at maximum you can get a +6 from accuracy, or a -6 from difficulty.
It's kind of like advantage or bless.
I guess, yeah. But there's a diminishing returns if you get more like 3.
Yeah.
So if you go too hard into accuracy, you'll not see a super great return. But yeah, I guess that's basically it. You've got a pilot, you've got a mech. All that's left to do is pray that you don't immediately die.
I mean, you could also explain to them traits of the weapons and whatnot.
I mean, says
Well,
right
some are
there.
mostly self-explanatory, I guess, but things like the smart weapons, the loading, reliable, ordnance,
I mean,
that kind of thing.
you can just hover over the tags by the weapons, and they'll tell you what they do, I guess.
Sure.
These are pretty simple.
Yeah. Anything else I think would need? I guess, does anyone need to know action economy, how it actually works? Does it need to explain that?
Oh yeah, there is the action economy.
At some point, yes.
Yes.
Well, the good news is, if you go to the home screen, hit Compendium, and in the lower right, action economy is right there, so you can just look through it if you want, or Val can explain it to you.
Well, per turn you can either do a full action or 2 quick actions. You can't do the same quick action twice with the same
specified.
weapon. Say you skirmish, that means you fire 1 weapon mount. You can't fire the same mount twice, but you can fire a different one. You always get a move, and I think you could always boost. Where's boost in this?
Boost is a quick action, I believe.
Yes, boost is a quick action, true. But yeah, this is a list of actions you can take. The green ones at the bottom are for downtime actions. You can those are for story. During combat, you can also overcharge to gain an extra quick action, but it will heat up your mech, and the more you do it during a combat, it gets quite catastrophic heat-wise. There's a table for it. I don't have it loaded up, but if you do it 4 times, you give yourself a guaranteed overheat.
There's one of these for it. I forget which one it was. Since that, that's not status conditions.
Reactions, you get as many as you can trigger. However, some of the reaction actions you get from talents or weapons will tell you if they've got a limit to once per round or once per turn. But other than that, you can do as many reactions as you like.
Protocols? Oh, weird.
And it's fine if no one knows how to play. It's kind of in character for your characters as well, because you all just got simulator training. You haven't had contact with an enemy yet.
We don't know how all the buttons work.
Yeah,
Good.
We've gone through boot camp digitally.
Yes.
We theoretically know how to do things. In practice,
Not so much.
We'll figure it out on the fly, I guess.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what's this button do?
Don't be careful. One of those buttons is a self-destruct, I think.
Yeah.
I think there is
There's
an actual self-destruct.
Also, something else I should matter. In the compendium, in the top right, there's core bonuses. At level 3, you get to pick one of these, but you can only pick from like the special manufacturing ones if you've got 3 licenses. Doesn't have to be the same one from that manufacturer. So if you've picked like what are some IPSN licenses? Let's say you've picked 2 Blackbeard and 1 Drake, that means you can pick one of the IPSN core bonuses. And these are active across like all the mechs you have. These attach to your like pilot, so to speak. So even if you say you've got 3 licenses in IPSN and 2 in SSC, you pick an IPSN core bonus, but you are in an SSC mech, that bonus from IPSN is still active. So you can combine some stuff that way too.
Oh, okay.
But that's level
It's
3,
effectively-
you don't have to worry about it yet.
It's effectively a feat.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it effectively feats? You pick one, but you can only pick one from a class if you have a minimum of 3. But if you want to pick a second one at level 6, you have to have another 3. So you
Yes.
can't just have 3 in one and then pick 2 from that system.
Okay.
If
So you spend 3 to pick it.
I guess,
Kind of.
yeah.
But it has to be from that specific class, otherwise you can only pick 1.
If you don't manage to have 3 of the of one of the manufacturers, you can always pick from the general massive systems ones, which are always kinda good.
They're the Omni-Tool class ones. You can pick any of them, they'll be decent, but they won't be specialized like the others will be.
Like, I've got a favorite, and it's in the GMS ones. Like, if you've got like, every mech has a core system that you can activate once per mission, but some of them give you the activation back after combat, so you can do it once a combat. And there is a core bonus in the GMS line that gives you a full heal every time you activate that ability, and that combination I really like. And there's more stuff
And it
like
gives-
that hidden in here.
Yeah. They're all really, really good, but they're very, very limited and very, very specialized.
Oh, see the universal compatibility.
Yep.
That's really nice.
If you've got an efficient core system that gives you the CP that you need to activate it back at the end of combat, that's really good.
There's very few of them that do that, but when they do, it's great. My particular favorite one that does that is the... Where is it? Why is it not on my thing? Now. Oh, it's because I'm looking at the licenses, not the thing. It's the Enkidu. My particular favorite one with that. You
Enkidu
rip someone in half,
Threat.
and if you do it, you get it back.
Oh,
But the Enkidu is very, very specialized and can fuck you over very easily. It's a really good mech, but it's a really, really savage mech. Because it can make you accidentally kill your allies.
Whoops.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the,
the,
it's the
oops.
oopsies.
Yeah, it's very much the oopsies mech.
Yeah, it's the funny little laser whip hands.
Yep.
It's really, really good, but it's also really, really hazardous. Not as hazardous as the fucking Manticore, but it's still pretty hazardous.
I do like the Manticore, but I'm not going that way.
It's all so good, but then you look at the part where it goes, whoops, if you die in this thing, you die, and there's nothing you can do about it, you're just dead. And so is
Yep.
probably everyone next to you.
Yep. My personal favorite is the Amber Phantom. I really like that one.
I like the Hydra.
Ooh, the
The
Hydra.
Hydra is spooky as shit. That thing is mean.
That is spooky.
Yeah. It's the turret mech of, guess what? Oh, whoops, all mechs. Oh, whoops, all turrets. Good luck.
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorites.
I like the Hydra and I like the Swallowtail. Swallowtails, since there's two.
I'm particularly fond of the really stupid ones. The Caliban in particular, just because it's tier 3, has a shotgun, you can knock someone out by reloading
Yeah.
with the bullets. Just,
Yep.
here, hold this for me.
I just like this on the Swallowtail, the if you stay in place, you're like cloaked. You
Yeah.
just go invisible.
Yep, the stealth.
The
There
little
you go.
stealthy screw you mech.
Peace.
There's two variants though. There's the standard and then there's the ranger, and both are really, really good at what they do.
Yeah. But I'm very tempted by the Hydra too, because just for fun
Funny.
little drones.
Yeah. Eat Swarm. But if you want to eat Swarm, I highly recommend the Baylor, the immortal fuck you mech.
Yep.
It's Durin's Bane, but mech.
Oh yeah, I can probably put you in the mech bay, so you can look at what the frames that you start out with look like.
I should probably... How do I do that thing to send you the code? It was go in 3 buttons, generate code.
Yep.
Oh, did it update my character with the mech I created?
I can check right now. Hang on. That's this tab, Comcon, home, pilot roster, placeholder, mech hanger. It did not.
Yeah. I think it said something like you can subscribe to it so it updates or
Oh,
something.
download data. Okay, player sync to remotes.
Also, there's my code, if it matters.
Oh, I'm apparently not logged in. We should be logged in.
Yeah,
Right.
it says automatic closing temporarily disabled on the like the accounting.
Yeah, it's totally requires it.
Having issues with it.
Oh yeah, automatic cloud sync temporarily disabled is experiencing issues.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, well then hopefully they'll be fixed in time. Otherwise, I guess I can believe you. I mean, if you
Do you
want to,
trust
you
us?
can also put everything you just did onto the Roll20 character sheet, but that sounds like a lot of work.
yeah, I can
it-
export the data file too. I may just do that just for security.
I mean, especially because I think the active mode in CompCon for everything is pretty good
Yeah.
for keeping track stuff
Yeah.
during fights and everything. So
Oh yeah, you even get a downtime actions button.
yeah,
Yeah, it just shows you. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we might play with that. How do I get back?
top left there is a back button,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
like a CompCon, not just browser back.
Oh, okay. You can even adjust your HP on the fly. That's nice.
Now, before anyone says they look like touchcombers, yes, they do look like touchcombers. They are friends with guns.
The spider theme continues.
Yes.
Yeah, let me-
And the orb of seeing.
It's just that these 3 starter mechs don't have any official official art. But this is by one of the official artists how they like to interpret them, and I kind of agreed because I like
Yeah.
them.
They look cool, yeah.
That's
So which
really
one's
solid.
which?
The Everest is this one, I believe. This is the controller one, whichever one that was. Hang on.
Sakamantha?
Yes.
No, wait, no, Sakamantha is the big boy.
Yes,
think.
Sagamantha
Yeah.
is the big boy. That's the larger one.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
the
the
Chum.
Chumalunga.
Mulunga. And they're all friends.
I'll just have to like, yeah, we'll just put the name on the token and then activate nameplate. and that's how we'll keep track of them until you get like
Unique ones.
unique ones.
Yeah.
At the end of the first mission, you get your first license. You pick a weapon or a system, and then at the end of the second mission, which is halfway through this intro campaign, you get your first frame.
Fancy.
Mm. I can't wait for me and Jules to have accidentally picked the same mech.
I mean, double or
might.
nothing, I guess.
Have we built the same?
I mean, you
Might have
say
done.
I already heard you say you're picking a melee class, so there's a
There
high
is
chance
many
you've picked
different
similar.
melee mechs, so
True.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have only browsed. I haven't decided on what mech I want to end on.
I'll make
Yeah.
it easy for you to figure out which one I picked. Unga Bunga.
Oh, good.
that doesn't narrow it down much. But
It does not narrow it down, but okay.
You picked the IPSN Empakai. Big hand.
No, I love the Impakai, but no, not the Impakai.
Okay. I guessed wrong then.
Yeah. Empakai is grabby hands. I love grabby hands, but it's not grabby hands.
Okay.
It's even more Unga Bunga than that.
Goblin.
That's not Unga Bunga.
I don't know what goblins make.
The goblin.
The goblin is
the
interesting.
super hack.
Because it's a hacker, and you can attach yourself to a friend and get
Oh
carried
yeah,
around
that's
by
the
them.
one.
It's the one where you glue yourself to someone else and just turn yourself into a computer of hell.
Hello, I'm on you. I use you as hacking platform. Please don't die.
Yep. I'm the funny little guy. We are both now the funny little guy.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy.
On these like different frames, you can see the size of them. Size 1 is
Normal.
like a normal like mech size. Size half is the size of a person. And they get bigger from there.
The half-size ones are little itty-bitty fellas. I think size half and size 1 classify as the same zone,
Yes.
but the size half ones are generally funny. Then there's size 2, which is the big chunky boys who take up a lot of room, so they take up a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's the solo size 3 fat ass, the Barbarossa.
Yeah, that's the largest playable mech, the Barbarossa, at size 3. So it would be even larger than that one over there.
Yeah,
Does
and
it
they
even
put a...
fit through doors?
Doors?
Technically, it doesn't need doors.
Okay.
It makes its own doors.
It'll just
It
make
makes
its
its
own
own
doors.
doors. It could also punch a hole through a mountain because they put an Armageddon cannon on the back of it, which is basically a ship-to-ship cannon.
Yes.
I see.
It's really funny, but if it's really hard to get it fully charged, but when you do, you make a mountain disappear.
So,
Yeah.
can you put that on the smallest mech?
Sadly,
No,
It
it's
is enough.
permanently attached to only that. It's a specialized thing.
It's its
If you could
core
put it on the
system.
smallest mech, it'd be funny. Yeah.
It's its own special thing.
Basically, you're piloting the gun. That's it. The rest is just there to make sure the gun works. You're also a big, chunky boy.
Yeah, you'll be a big target, and you probably will have a hard time getting cover from anything. And getting around the maps too might be
Yeah.
difficult.
But give it a minute, and it won't need to worry about cover, because the enemy certainly won't have any left.
The enemy won't have any enemy left.
Yeah, that too, because it hits like an actual... Well, it's... Think a dreadnought ship, but the cannon's the size of the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
It also gets the super heavy siege cannon in the final tier of its
Yeah.
license.
Which
It's
you
all
can add
ordnance though,
casually
so if someone
20
like
stone
sneaks
with.
close to it, they're in real trouble.
Hi. Oh, you're standing next to me. Well, here, hold on to this for me.
I gotta
And
go in
there's-
like 20 minutes. Do we have something else to?
I think that's about it. So if you wanna like leave and get ready, that's fine. We're not gonna
Yeah.
like discuss anything else. Oh, yeah, I gotta put the TXT in the mech bay, I guess.
Yes, please.
Just
Yes,
the only
please.
thing we really need to worry about is, are we on next week or next year? Odds are very high it's next year, I know.
There's the TXT to download for you.
Yep.
I mean, I'll definitely try and get prepped for next week. I have the start narrative map in. I don't have the first combat set up, and I think I need to like get the NPCs in or into CompCon because for some reason the one for the very first mission aren't in. I'll figure it out, hopefully.
Oh, I mean, it might be fine. I don't know if everyone else is good to go. I'm obviously good to go because I don't do anything.
I'm
Okay,
fine on
well.
the 29th, though the start of January is a bit eh. So we could do like a small test thing on the 29th, just a test
50 is
battle,
probably not great for me either.
test narrative, and then we start into the campaign mid-end to January.
Yep, we can do the first combat. Well, the intro to it and the first combat. We can do that on the 29th if we are all available. I'll definitely try and get that ready. I'm motivated. Shall I
Any
mark that
objections to
down
the
then?
29th?
No,
I don't
29th
think
is
so.
good.
Fine.
The official adventures all come with maps, so I'm set on the maps, it's just the NPCs I need to set up, that's the difficult part.
How much backstory or information do you need from our characters? Just the 2 questions you gave us, or?
Yeah, as much or as little as you want to provide. Just what got you in the academy, how did you get your call sign? And then everything else is a bonus, so to speak.
Something to work on.
Because like the first 4 missions you're gonna be pretty locked in on a storyline. After that we can branch out more. And a lot of this background lore that we can explore that in the narrative play when your characters talk to each other, hopefully.
Simple solution, make a stupid character, they won't know shit. So you don't need to know shit.
Oh dear.
I mean, there is that.
Hmm.
There is that.
There is that.
Gotta check. Can I guess
I mean,
whose
I've had-
character is whose?
I have several characters very long designed. I know which one I'm going for. It's the funny Unga Bunga. You will see where it develops, and I can't wait for Shulz to accidentally pick the same one.
Then you
You
can
will
go
understand
Unga
when you
Bunga
read
together.
through them. We can Unga Bunga in pairs.
I mean,
I
and that
root for it.
would be hilarious, frankly.
Yeah.
Just send you
It's,
out.
Right, so we've
Have
got
fun, sweetie.
2 people who want to go melee route.
Yep.
Zeppo, Serenity, what are you kind of planning? Just kind of.
Mine's more the drone hacky
Okay,
The
okay.
Hydra.
kind of
Feel the
side of
Hydra.
things.
Probably something light,
Okay, okay.
ranged.
Light range. Okay.
Well, that's basically.
Mine is more melee and explosions.
Oh,
It's
and
mostly
explosion?
melee and grenades.
Mine does have a
Oh,
little. I did grab grenades because they seemed like fun.
I feel like it. Okay,
Everyone
Shulz.
gets grenades.
Everyone
Did
gets
you pick-
grenades.
Did you pick the Iskander? Is that the one you're aiming for?
I haven't looked. I just looked
No.
through the talents. I was like, oh, explosives seem fun.
Look at the Iskander, which is 3rd on the Harrison Armory, and you'll see why that was my original plan as well. It was the funniest one of the lot. You'll see what I mean when you look at it. It's a hell of a thing.
It's the mind-laying robot.
Ooh, that sounds. Like I said, I
It's
just
got
I knew I wanted melee, and then I saw, explosion, demolition. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take that to spice the melee up. I haven't had any final frame in mind.
I know which one I'm going for just because the tier 3 Unga Bunga is I'm gonna make this one dude disappear.
Yeah, he launches mines across the battlefield. Somehow.
That is very
then he-
enticing.
And he can vomit just a pile of them around himself. And then set them all off. Is that who he ha ha
Earning
laugh?
better by the day.
Yeah, he,
Well, if we've
Just
got
look
the
through what
two
this
of
guy
these, that's
does.
gonna be very interesting.
he's immune to mines, he sets up a bunch of mines. He can launch a mine across the map and lodge it in someone's face and blow it up. It's honestly funny, the Iskander. And then it's actively its core is honestly the funniest one I've seen. You just turn the entire battlefield into mines. Just
But is it
everything
also-
becomes mines.
Occasion melee, if it
It's-
doesn't do mines.
Questionable.
I mean, you have a bunch of cannons.
Well, I can
punching,
see
not so
what
much.
my mixture does, whether I want to do mines or melee.
I mean, there's still plenty of mechs to look through that all do funny
Yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
They've all got their own weird twist that you can combine into
Yeah.
other things.
Mine's just going to be funny when you start to see why I capitalize Unga Bunga when I'm using it. It's just raw Unga Bunga energy.
Yeah, I feel like the Iskander is not really going in there to hit people in the face. The Iskander is going in there to place mines under people's feet.
And run away.
And run away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then use the vacuum gun to make them step on the mines. And if they
Yeah.
you explode and make all the mines hit them in the face, and then you run away. Or you just make them float and throw mines into the floaty pit and then run away. It's
Well,
the
we'll
asshole
see.
build.
We'll see what my character enjoys more: cutting with a knife or blowing shit up.
Oh, just
Understandable,
look through the
understandable.
list.
these
Just look
are
through the list.
both
It's-
excellent things.
There's
Yeah,
options
they-
for all.
I'm sure.
Everyone's there's a playstyle for all. It's just I struggled really, really hard to turn away from the Enkidu. But the sheer Unga Bunga energy of the one I picked is just too funny to ignore. Oh.
It would be funny if your character would die before you could show us what you mean with Unga Bunga.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, yes. Death is a mechanic in this, so we'll
Um,
figure
I'll
it
See how
out.
that goes.
How easy is it to die?
Pretty
Very.
easy.
I
Pretty
don't
easy.
know. I mean, you have a good bit of
Like the pilot, that the pilot dies, not that the mechs explodes.
Like, there is a lot of health to go through because you've got your full health bar. If you lose a structure, you go back to full health. You lose that again. You've got like 4
Effectively-
structure.
You have 2 health bars. One is structure, which is 4 times your HP, but every time you hit your HP bar, you have to roll for structure check. There's a chance you might blow up immediately. There's a chance you just cripple. And then there's the stress one, which is 4 times your heat bar, but every time you beat that cap, you have to roll on the stress bar, and your mech might go thermonuclear and blow up underneath you.
Let's
Fun.
just say I don't think you're gonna die on the first mission, but it's certainly possible. But
Yeah.
you are in a
There's
mech
also-
that's easy to repair, so you're probably gonna be fine. Probably.
There's- Should you explain the base attributes of like how structure, stress, armor, e-defense, tech attack, all that things, or do you think it's all self-explanatory?
That should be fairly self-explanatory.
Hmm.
We'll
I mean,
clear that up in actual combat. I feel it's easier to do that way.
true. Oh, I just the Unga Bunga. It calls to me, brother.
Well, then you have
Just
to.
gonna
hope
go
you can
around with a big
play a
club.
You have to hope you can get it then.
It's not a big club, but it's got a big something.
And you don't even
It's
know
just
about
gonna be a-
exotic gear yet.
I don't even know about exotic gear yet. I don't know jack shit about anything except potentials.
Because you
I'm
can
throwing
earn
off
gear
potentials.
that's not in the licensing system during the missions.
Mm.
There's some real funny stuff in there that might change your mind on how you want to play your mech.
Well, by that point, who knows when we'll get the exotic gear, and if I'll have that mech by then.
Indeed. Well, I guess that's where we're gonna call it for today.
Mm-hmm.
And that ends session 0.